Okay, let's go over the homework you just did for number one. For number one, notice that one of the variables is already by itself. So what we're going to do is take that x plus 3 and plug it in for y. Let's take a look at my work. Okay, so we're plugging in x plus 3 in place of y. Don't forget the parentheses. You'll need to distribute the negative. The next step is to solve for x. What did you get for x? All right, you should get x equals 4. All right, there you go. So once you distribute the negative, you should get down to x equals 4. Now you need to plug in and solve for y. You can use the top equation or the bottom equation. Which one did you use? Okay, I used the top equation, and what we should get for y is 7. So your very final answer is 4, 7. Now let's take a look at number 2. You have your top equation and your bottom equation. Which variable did you begin by isolating? Did you isolate the top x, the top y, the bottom x, or the bottom y? I hope you picked the top x. That's the one that's easiest to get by itself because there's nothing in front, so we assume there's a 1. This y has a negative in front that makes it harder. This x has a 5 in front that makes it harder. This y has a negative in front, so that makes it a little bit trickier. So let's take a look at my work for number 2. Okay, for my work for number 2, what I did is I took equation 1 and I got x by itself. Okay, so I moved the y over and I got x equals 10 plus y. Now I'm going to take that and plug it into equation 2 right there for x. Okay, so in place of x, so equation 2 is 5x minus y equals negative 6. And in place of x, I'm going to put the 10 plus y. So I copy the 5, replace x, keep the minus, keep the y, keep the equals, keep the negative 6. Go ahead and solve for y. What did you get when you solve for y? You should have gotten negative 14. Okay. Once you get negative 14 for y, you want to go ahead and plug that in. You can plug it into the original equation 1, original equation 2, or this new equation 1 down here. Which one did you use? And what did you get for x when you plugged y in? Okay, so I went ahead and plugged in to the new equation 1 because that was going to be the quickest. I could probably even do that in my head. So I have 10 plus negative 14, and your final answer should be negative 4, negative 14. Be careful, okay, that you put the x and then the y. So in this first problem, I solved for x first and then y. But in this problem, we solved for y and then got the value for x, but it still goes xy for the ordered pair, so be careful. All right, the last one is C's and D's, some different letters for you. So focus over here. What did you isolate first? The C in the top equation, the D in the top equation, the C in the bottom equation, or the D in the bottom equation? I hope you said this D, because that's the one that has just a plus in front, so it's going to be the easiest one to get along. This has a 2 in front. That's going to make more work. It's going to make fractions. This has a minus in front that makes more work. This has a 4 in front. Since this D is just plus 1D, that's the easiest one to get by itself. Okay. Once you get that D by itself, you should have 20 minus 4C. That was equation 2. So this is the new equation 2. You have to plug that into equation 1. Be careful when you plug in, because when you plug into equation 1, here's equation 1, 2c minus d equals negative 2. We're going to replace d with 20 minus 4c. So I copied 2, copied c, copied minus, replaced the d, used parentheses, then I have equals negative 2. Don't forget to distribute the negative. What'd you guys get for c? Okay, you should get c equals 3. And then you can plug into any equation you want. Equation 1, equation 2, or new equation 2. And what'd you get for D? Okay, for D, I got 8. As you can see, I plugged into this. You could plug into any of the equations, though, in this problem. And I got D equals 8. So what's your very final answer as an ordered pair? You should have C, comma, D, which is 3, 8, because when you have letters, they go in alphabetical order. So usually it's X, Y, but if you're talking C's and D's, the C goes first and then the D. All right, thanks for doing the homework. See you next time.